Without sounding all really cheesy, and how long have you been into gaming since like Pong and that shit? Like, how far are we going back?
My first computer, as such, was a Commodore 64 with a tape deck and the background with all the flashing blue lines behind it. And you sat for 3/4 of an hour waiting for your game to load up, and then it went error, and then you had to start again, rewind the tape, start again. The joys of Horace and Daley Thompson's Decathlon, the ones that spring to mind. That was my early experience of it. Kind of drifted out of it for a long time. I really did miss the beginning of the PlayStation revolution. Dabbled with a couple of mates, Sega Mega Drives and PS1s, but never got back into it. And I didn't get back into it till like the PS2 came out. Because I found Saturday night parks and smoking and drinking and girls.
That would be your first memories then, boys, of gaming. Then would you say then going way back? Yeah. Right,
yeah. That's why I've got such strong arms, because of the old joysticks back in the day.
Sure. You tell yourself that.
Okay. I never used the joystick. I never used the joystick. I just couldn't.
That's why you never smile. That's what it is.
And the what was the Atari? It had the paddles as well. If you remember the old Atari with the wooden finish as well, it had the little for the tennis games and that. You had the little paddles, the little twisty things as well. Oh, mate, I'm trying to build up my retro collection. That could be a special down the line that we do that, because I'm building up my retro collection on my CRT TV, audio consoles. I've got a Mega Drive 2. I'm trying to get a PlayStation 1 OG as well. Can't wait to build it all up as well. So that answers my next question then. It's a bit of a controversial one. Console or PC or both? You can answer both to them, because I had a first ever console before I ever had a first ever PC. Ian, would it be the Commodore then? It wasn't a console before that then?
No, it wasn't. It was a Commodore 64, then the sort of more updated Commodore 64 that you could put cartridges in the back of.
Yes.
I think Terminator 2 was the game I played on that one, because it was the only one I had for that one. But yeah, and then ever since then, console. I want to get back into PC gaming as well, but I need to make the space for that. We had a little discussion about that before.
We did.
I'm going to get my space and get my PC back.
How does it work for your streaming setup though? Like, because I know you can stream from a console, but do you need to stream to a PC, or do you just do it all off the console now?
You can do it directly off the console, but you don't get any of the
bells and whistles.
Bells and whistles with it. So I use mine through OBS and stream it that way.
Is that
capture card and in there, and then OBS and the streamer bot on top of that. So I get them with panels and all the little effects that you can go in and that sort of stuff. But that's another side of things I like doing. I like using the bots to build stuff, so I can make it a bit more unique compared to other people.
Gives me a sore head, that stuff, man. I tried streaming a bit before. We've only just recently stopped the streaming for the Extreme Gaming Podcast, because it was more about the audio downloads than anything else. I couldn't be bothered. I did try it. It was fun for a little while, but it felt like a job, so I stopped doing it. But I'm glad you're doing it, man. Do you want to plug your channel there as well at the same time, mate? I know you do stuff for the Rabble podcast as well, but you do what's your own channel name again?
Well, just Dougal79 on Twitch. There is original. A Kick one. There is a Kick one as well, but that Kick kind of terrifies me a little bit. I'm trying to get 75 people to follow me on Kick, but it's the same name on there as well, and YouTube. Got it on YouTube as well. And then all the socials have got their own little bit added into it. But so Dougal79 on Twitch. And then that's why I was all over the Discord when Martin said he wanted to start a Discord, because I'm in about 18 different Discords when it comes to gaming. So.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm not on Discord much, guys. If you're wondering, like, Paul's always trying to get a hold of me, Paul McCoracle. I was all over Discord, and then, like Ian, I was all over Discord too much, and now I can't be bothered. It does my head in a little bit. I wish you well with the streaming side of things, mate, because I respect people that do that. It's not something I'll get into anymore. But Alan, do you have a preference to PC or console? And I'm not going to judge you either way.
Oh, for me, consoles all the way. I've never used the PC for gaming. Obviously, I've had PCs, but I don't know. Part of me, for gaming, it's just you pick the control pad up and you start playing it. You see, when you start doing PCs and I don't even know how you use PCs. I wouldn't even know how to play a game on a PC. Keyboards and mice, and I don't know. It just seems alien to me. I just think the whole point of fact is gaming is a console for me personally. I know they make all, and you can do all the mods and that in the PCs, which look awesome. But for me, strictly people, obviously this moment in time, PlayStation 5. Yeah, so aye.
That up there with The Last of Us are some of the games. Stunning. Sony do this really well. They make first player, kind of solo player, story-driven games really well. That's why their PlayStation Plus is not like Xbox Game Pass. They will bring stuff out, but not immediately because they put so much money into their games and they do such a good job. I remember getting that at the stay-at-home stuff that Sony done during the COVID time, and I took a while to get to it. And I played it, and I was like, I generally was emotional. I had a tear in the eye at times playing that because it's such a good story, and the gameplay was brilliant as well. Although I've got a bit to add to this. Ben Studio was the company that done it, right? It's a PlayStation studio, and when it first came out, it had some problems, right? It first came out just on console, then came to PC after. It had its issues. They fixed the issues. The problem is when I got to that game a couple of years later, whenever they already fixed these problems, so I judged it on a polished game, and it was absolutely brilliant. I wanted to know how it properly ended, and I thought, sure, they'll do another one. This is really popular. PC improved it even more. But then I hear, oh, Sony have pulled the rug from that one, kibosh. It's not going to happen anymore, right? And I was like, what? Like, they sold a decent number of copies, right? And then recently, and I wonder, Ian, if you've heard this as well, recently it came to light that it wasn't Sony so much. It's Ben Studio, because they're a big studio within Sony. They get a bit of leeway and say what they want to do next. They weren't actually wanting to do that next, a sequel, because of the issues they had. Did you hear that, Ian? Is this news to you?
I kind of heard that a few of the people at Bend kind of fell out and went in their own directions. I mean, Bend Studios as a studio isn't as big as other ones that are out there.
Yeah, Santa Monica's and the Naughty Dogs of the world.
The Naughty Dog and the Gorilla one. I kind of heard that Bend kind of imploded. It's still there, obviously, and they're still doing stuff. But it kind of imploded from within. But most of the story I heard that Sony weren't convinced that a sequel would do good because the game was panned on its initial release by the critics, and it was getting very low scores because they didn't wait. And it just goes to show that you don't always need to listen to critics when they're talking about stuff. It goes the same for gaming as it does for movies. And if the critics tell you it's bad, you should really give it a go because it'll probably be really good. And Days Gone, it took me a while because I'd seen the initial video with Deke getting chased up that sawmill crane by thousands and thousands of zombies, and I was like,
that's brilliant.
Can I play this? Can I actually, have I got the cojones to actually play this game? But once I got into it, damn. And those, I mean, even now, those hordes scare the living crap out of me. But you've just got to get on it.
You never paid for a game.
Well, the only game I ever paid for, actually, and it's my favourite game of all time, was Shenmue.
Oh, yeah. I never played it. I heard of it.
Oh, you've never... Oh, I mean, it's dated now, obviously.
Yeah.
But the storyline, what you could do... I mean, this is what... You're talking 1997?
Yeah.
98? You could walk into people's... you could walk into shops. You could play arcade games. You could go into areas and practice your fighting. You could drive forklifts and you had a job. It was one of the first games ever to do that. And it was a Konami game. It was one of the first games ever to do it. The greatest game I've ever played in my life. And I miss it dearly.
Like, you could pick up a Dreamcast again. I'm trying to build up my retro collection, mate.
Yeah, I know. But I've got a kid and I run a podcast. So...
True. Time is a problem, isn't it?
But honestly, Trev, you were talking about, Days Gone, The Last of Us, that kind of first person GTA and stuff like that. Yeah. This was the original, and
I believe that
the storyline was just Landy and all that, and the storyline was just so good.
But Civilization is levels of intelligence I don't have. Are you playing it? Did you try it?
I tried it when I was a teenager, and I quickly realised that I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Yes, it's solid, man. It's absolutely solid.
It's not enjoyable either.
RTS games,
so
we call them, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Real-time strategy. And then there's Command and Conquer as well. Tanya. Remember Tanya and Command and Conquer back in the day? That was more PC, although it's come out of console now. No one got that reference at all. Maybe JD will, because PC Master Race. But no, listen, the reason I was asking before about what if you like a console company, if you like, you can have more than one answer. For example, I used to be an Xbox man. I had the original Xbox, loved it. I loved the Xbox 360. That was brilliant. And then Xbox One came out, and I went, this thing's shit. It generally is shit. It's like Microsoft tried to ruin it by making it, oh, you can't sell your games. We've got DRM, digital rights management on it. We're baking all these facilities, the Kinect sensor bar with the camera and the motion stuff into it. And they were baking all that in. That brought the price up to like £400-500 years back, really expensive. PlayStation went, hold my beer, I'm just going to bring out the PlayStation 4 and smash you about the place. And they did. They won pretty much every generation. I stopped after the 360. Yeah. Loyalty only gets you so far. If you're crap, I'm not sticking with you. So now I've got PC that has Xbox Game Pass on it. The PC version of it's actually cheaper than the console version, to be honest with you. So I love that. And I do have a soft spot in recent years for Nintendo. Never used to. I never get to Switch when it first came out. I thought it was, I took the piss out. It's kiddie games and all that. But listen, Nintendo do what they do very, very well. The first party games are phenomenal. They sell a load of consoles. They are almost tying with PlayStation 2 for the greatest console ever in terms of sales. PS2 is 160 million consoles. The Switch is 152, 154 at the moment, and it's still got more legs in it. So you can like a second one. Does anyone own a Switch? Does anyone get a soft spot for Nintendo? It's almost getting this wee separate.
My daughter's got a Switch.
My son's got a Switch.
Oh, cheers, pal. Cheers, boys. Thanks.
Yeah, kids console.
Now, they are good, though, because you can hook them up to the telly as well, so you don't actually have to play them on the little screen that you've got. You
can just buy a normal console, Ian. What's the point?
But it's good for the kids, because that means they don't touch mine.
It's the only way you can play Nintendo games. If you're not on the go, Martin, I know it's designed for being a go, but it's a hybrid console, the Switch. You put it in the dock and you can put it in the telly, but the thing is, you put it on the Beast, which hopefully the brother-in-law is installing in the next fortnight, by the way. It looks awful. The reason I liked the Switch is Zelda. Zelda Breath of the Wild. What a game. I generally think you would like that, Dougal. I'll be honest with you, mate. Big, massive open world game adventure. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm actually looking for the Switch 2 to actually make it look better on the big telly, because it will upscale all the older games as well.
I'm upset with the Switch because my boy plays there's football games on it, and then he comes on the PlayStation and he plays against me. He's 8 and he just smashes me all about the park. So I'm upset with Nintendo.
Right. So anyways, I was doing really well when I was at a bus stop waiting on a number 89 it was. Never forget it. I even remember what bus stop it was in Battlefield. And I'm playing away, and the fucking bus was coming, and I didn't realise I had a hole in my jacket pocket. Put the Game Boy in my jacket, didn't hear it fall, got on the bus, got home, no Game Boy.
Oh, you feel like your world's just ended, like you just...
You know, it still hurts.
My heart went for you then. I mean, I'm not going to buy you a new one, but I felt for you.
Mine was a quick... Oh, no, that one.
So
it was a question from Geordie, or a point, should I say?
No, I was red.
Wow, Aberdeen supporter confirmed. Okay, no worries at all. Right.
I was red, and then I was fire red. I've never really played the blue one. I like the Pokemon Yellow, but the problem with Pokemon Yellow is you had to start with Pikachu, and it was a pain in the arse for the first gym, because the first gym was Brock. You've got me started now, right?
I don't understand Pokemon.
And you had to catch a Mankey and level up a Mankey.
It's Sergio Gear.
I think it was a low kick you had to give the Mankey, right, to get past Brock, and then no, nightmare.
Just checking. Don't want to judge. We don't judge and rabble.
You were slagging me and Aaron off earlier on about comic book stuff, and you've just made yourself up to be a massive nerd going on about Pokemon. I'm a big kid, but I wouldn't sink so low as to have Pokemon. Come on. Although I'm a lot older.
I start with no club. I always start with no club. Start with no club.
See, the problem is, Ian, I've not got the time to build up the coaching badges and all that.
I'm now manager at Exeter
always
City, my old
Discord.
hometown, where I grew up, and we're just in the playoffs and 3 points off the top of the league, playing a 4-3, no, 4-2-1. Oh, I can't remember, but we're playing some tactic and scoring loads of goals in a gegenpress, and we're away. So
I don't play gegenpress anymore. What I do is I Google low intensity tactics that work, and I just steal them so that my players don't get tired.
I score lots of goals.
I can't play that game, man. I told you, I love it. It's a game that takes up so much of your time. It's like a Zelda or something. That's your main game for a while. You don't have any time. That's why you prefer a quick game. You play a shorter version of Football Manager, which is no the career mode. There is a shorter version. I can't remember what it's called.
Got a sandbox, haven't you, and that sort of stuff that you can do with Football Manager.
Yeah. So, Alan, what was the last game you played then? I know you're busy, man.
Well, the last game I played was AEW Fight for
the Wife.
Well, that's not the last. Well, no, exactly. Actually, the grenade launcher. I've had 3 kids, remember? There's nothing wrong with my tools here, Martin. You know what I mean? You've only had one. You could only muster one. That was enough for you.
I told you this today. That's because I'm smart.
You're no smart.
As someone said to me, one of my old flatmates said, right, I'm going out tonight and I'll be making sure I got off at Haymarket. Now, if you get that euthism in Edinburgh and train stations, it's the last stop before you hit Waverley. Never got off at Waverley, boys. Got off at Haymarket. That's all I'm saying. We'll call it there, boys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.